Hi, Daniel. So I finally got my audio fixed on my computer, so that is good. Hopefully this sounds better. So I was gonna make this quick video about grading. So this is my dashboard. Over here is the to-do list, and this is great for teachers. I tell students never to work from their to-do list, by the way, but that's the topic for a different conversation. So here's all the things that you have to grade. So anytime you need to grade something, it will pop up in your to-do list. And so since you just have that one course and it's an alt course, there's less things for you to grade, which is awesome. But yeah, this is where they'll pop up when you do have things. So I'm just going to go into I have Algebra 1B alternative. So I'm going to go in there really quick and I'll show you because it'll look similar to yours. So if you don't have anything to grade in the to-do list, then what I would do, like during the time you set aside for like grading during the day, I would go, of course it's going to be really slow now that I'm trying to make you a video. I would go into the grade book. And I check my gradebooks daily, just because I like to see what's going on in there. But there's a lot of great information. So first of all, there's many things you can do. You can see I already moved this column to the front of my gradebook. So yours is probably way back here. So if you scroll all the way to the end, and then click like a little arrow and it says move to front. Okay. So I just like having it in the front because then it's right next to their name. Then over here in this little gear icon, you can arrange columns by assignment group or arrange them by due date. I always have it arranged by due date. So if I click assignment group, now it's arranged by assignment group, or I can click arrange by due date. I just like it like this better. On each little assignment, there's this little arrow. And I think this is really awesome. So in this arrow, you can go to the assignment details. That's like where you could edit the assignment. Speed grader is where you would grade things if it's something you need to grade. But again, you would never come in here to find what you need to grade. But like checkpoint 1 is something graded by the computer. So if you wanted to get more details on it, then you could click speed graders. Let's just do it. So this is not something that I graded, but you could go in here and see how your students did more specifically. Otherwise, you never see this unless you go in to look, because this is computer graded. So you can go in and see like what they missed or what they partially got right. And then you could change their score if you wanted to, if you thought they earned more points or something. Anyway, you can see all your kids here, and so you could go to whoever you want to look. So this person hasn't done the checkpoint. Otherwise, you can see like this person, here's all their attempts. They did it 3 times, which is the maximum they can do. And you can see the grades they got each time. So there's tons of information you can get by going into an assignment like that. Let me go back to the gradebook because that's not actually what I was going to show you. Okay, so back to that little arrow on each assignment. So that was speed grader. I like this, message students who. We'll go to that in a second, but I never use any of these. I don't know what set default grade is. We don't do curve grades, and I don't even know what mute assignment is, but I wouldn't touch those ones. But this message students who is really cool. So message students who, and then you can choose haven't submitted yet, haven't been graded, I don't know, scored less than or scored more than. So like say you wanted to send a good job message to all the students who scored more than an 80 on this assignment. It'll show you who that was. It'll show you their grades, and you can say like "good job" or whatever you want to write. So you can do that. You can do students who scored less than an 80 or less than like say a 60, so those who didn't pass it. And then you can put a video in here and say just wanted to show you this. So I like that. The one I use the most is students who haven't submitted yet. It gets kind of old if you send them to this stuff like every time they don't submit an assignment, because you'll see, especially in these alt classes, that a lot of students aren't engaged in the class. So I wouldn't use this as my only method of communication with them, but I do like that option from the gradebook. I probably actually use that option for the scored most, because those students like hearing good job and they check their messages. Anyway, so there's that option. I'm trying to think what else I was going to say. So what I do, like in this alt class, you can see there's several students who haven't even started the class yet, which um, is an intervention that will come up soon, like non-starts. But there's some people who have like pretty low scores. So I would go in here and say, okay, why do they have such a low score? A lot of times they have a low score because they're behind. So the way you can tell if they're behind, if you have your assignments arranged by due date, that's why I do it this way. You can tell it when there's a dash, that means these things aren't due yet. The due date hasn't come yet. So it looks like right here is kind of the line for me of what's due so far in this class. And so a lot of times when their grade is low, it's because they're behind. So like let's just take this Heather, for example. She has a 32%, but if you look at what she did, she got 100%, 100%, 86, well then she got 31. But then her next several scores are all zeros, 0, 0, 0, 0, and that's because she hasn't done them yet. So her overall grade is low because she's behind pace. And so those are the conversations I like to have with students early on so they understand. Because sometimes they'll be like, man, I got 100% of everything and an 80 and my grade's an F. Like, what's going on? So I would take time to reach out to those kids. Don't maybe focus on the 0% yet because they just haven't started. That's on them. But those that have started and are struggling, or those that have started and are behind pace, that's where I would focus my attention. I know that was a lot of stuff that I just said, so let me know if you have any more specific questions about grading. But inside the grade book, you can find a lot of information about stuff and how to be proactive. And then on your actual dashboard, that's where you'll find things that you need to grade. So like I have to grade all this stuff. That'll pop up for you if it's something that you need to grade. You don't need to go looking for it in the grade book. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any other questions.